What is up, everyone? And we are live. I am Chris Knight. This is the Real Review 3000. And today on the Gospel According to Chris, I have my partner in crime. Finally, not as a back piece, but as the guest of honor, which he probably feels like he's always the guest of honor when he's on my channel. So,
I mean, you know,
go ahead, say it.
I'm the one that finally made you do your YouTube channel. So I feel like this is a little bit my doing.
Well, you see, here's the thing. Let's be honest. I talked about this back in 2017. I looked it up. It's like September 18th of 2017, about a year after my dad died, right around his birthday. And I did that intro, and I called you up and I said, hey, why don't we do this YouTube thing? Why don't we do a channel? Let's talk, because you and I talk about this crap all the time when we talk. And I was like, this would be really good. You and I, we have a good dynamic. We're not.
Hey, what's up, Hanstar?
Hey, Hanstar, how you doing? Also, It's a Trap Productions is here, and Thomas Gilkey. Thank you, everybody, for who's here right now. If you see on Twitter my tweet saying we're live, please retweet that so everybody can see it. I'm going to go in here in just a second and tweet it.
My question is, where's Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers? Why isn't he here?
Well, we're kind of a strange little secret. We're like the dirty little secret of the Fandom Menace. Or the Fandom Collective, or just YouTube, or just the dirty little secret of YouTube.
Yeah.
Or maybe we're the dirty old men of YouTube. I don't know.
There's people older than us, man. So
I know. But I set up this channel and I said to Shaun, I said, well, let's do this. So Shaun actually, even though it's not on the channel, and I need to rip it and put it on the channel, Shaun actually did the first video for the channel, but it's on Facebook. And
was that my Justice League thing?
Yes, it was. So that was the second official video, because the first official video is the intro that I did. And then it was almost a year and a half later that we did the recast. They should not, the Knight Rider a package opening, the unboxing that. Still to this day, I have no clue why so many people have watched it, because it is like the worst unboxing.
Maybe they just cringe stuff, man. I don't know.
It's nothing, but you go back and you watch those videos. What we're doing now is so much above and beyond all that, and a lot of that is because of Shaun. Shaun, we've both worked hand in hand on a lot of this stuff. I understand the video stuff, and of course, I've learned more about it, but I think when it comes down to it, like the audio setup and stuff is where I'm more into doing stuff. So, I mean, we both have a lot of traits that work well together, and that's why we've known each other for so long, is because we do a lot of things. And when we do stuff together, it turns out a lot better than I think if you or I did it separately.
Trap says you guys are the Manhattan Project of the Fandom Collective.
That's true. We are.
I mean,
I don't know. What do you want to do with this atom? Let's split it and see what happens.
Let's split it 3 times.
3 times? Fuck it. 4. He's going to drop the F-bomb right off the bat. How about that? I remember, we're not for kids, so we got to make sure we let them know.
Yes.
So, anyways, yeah, Shaun is the one that kicked my ass and got me going. So, yeah, thank you, Shaun. He waited so long for this channel to start. He's like, screw it, I'll do it on my own. And that's why we have Shaun Stackhouse Reacts. So I take credit for the fact that you're even on your own channel.
Yeah, it actually took me a long time to do my own channel, because I didn't really have a hook, that I wanted to explore. And I'm like the king of introverts,
Yes, you are.
So putting myself out on video, talking about things, was definitely an internal conversation that I had for quite a while. But then I was like, my band stopped doing stuff, and I've got a creative side that I've absolutely got to indulge. So YouTube is creative, and I like doing video stuff, like actual video production. So like what it means to be a geek, the first real video we did for your channel, you know, that was a lot of fun, you know.
It was.
Stuff like that is really what I enjoy doing.
Well, you know, we're working on the Is Hollywood Out of Ideas one. I just talked to It's a Trap Productions about that. He's in the chat. And we're going to hopefully have that out by the Rise of Skywalker. Maybe not. It's getting really close, but that's okay. We're going to have it out here soon. And we're going to go from there. But that's going to be a real fun one. You know, we have a lot of good ideas for that stuff. But again, that's something you and I have really done well on. We've been in a band together. And I think, honest to God, you know, both of us came up with some really good ideas for songs. And when we talk about it, when we work on things like that, we do really well with it.
Well, I came up with a good idea for songs. You came up with crap.
Oh, whatever. You just are jealous.
Yeah.
But you know, we talk about that stuff a lot when we're on stream together. We've talked about it before. But you know, today we've been on this hook of Ghostbusters and Wonder Woman recently, so I figure we could talk about that. Maybe a little bit about Bond.
Bon Jovi?
No, Bond. Like James Bond.
I heard Bon, and I was like, Bon Jovi. Well, they suck now.
Bon Jovi, JONBON.
No, JON's BON space JOVI. Yeah.
BON space JOVI. I mean, you could explain that again about the phone call to Sayreville, New York.
Sayreville, New Jersey. Yeah, we when we were teenagers, we called I guess the equivalent of 411 at the time.
It was.
And we were like, Chris was on the phone. He's like, yeah, I'd like the number for John Bon Jovi, please. And she was like, spell it. And he's like, BON space JOVI. And in the background, I was like, that's not how you spell it. It's BONGIOVI or something like that.
But I was like, do they not get what we're doing here?
I mean, you're from New Jersey. Come on. There's no way that you've not heard of Bon Jovi.
We had way too many good times like that.
Yeah.
2 carrots and an ounce of ranch dressing.
Yeah, that's not appropriate for these streams, I don't think. But
why not, right? No. Anyways, let's talk about Ghostbusters a little bit. We watched the trailer. We had a reaction over on your channel this morning. We kind of did that first thoughts about it, but let's go into it some more because, man, I am really stoked about this movie now.
I'm just stoked with any Ghostbusters that's going to connect back to the Prime universe.
Well, yeah.
You know? And the scene where Paul Rudd was showing the class like this historical footage, you know, of the 1984 movie, and it had live on it and stuff like that, you know. It made it look like it was actually something that was being covered on the news. And I'm all in. I'm all in on the movie. You know, people have been complaining on Twitter that it seems like it is a independent film or something like that. And Jason Reitman comes from the independent film background, but you know, like you said when we were speaking earlier, you know, it's just I think a lot of people are not accustomed to Ghostbusters being in like a place like Oklahoma. You know, it's always in New York. But I mean, when the side door, when they take the Ecto one out in the cornfield, and they're like spinning around, and then the side door pops open, you know, the gunner door, and then they start like shooting this ghost. You know, like, yeah, this is Ghostbusters. This is, you know, and the thing that we have to remember going forward is that this is Ghostbusters 30 years later.
Yeah,
you know, this isn't going to be the same Ghostbusters. You know, we probably won't see a whole lot of the legacy characters. You know, they're probably going to serve more as a mentor role.
Well, yeah, that's my only thing is how much do we get them? And then I said it today. My biggest issue with that, if they're just kind of bit parts, is that I don't want them to be in it just to have bit parts. I want them to have a real role in it. Like at the very end, I want them to be there.
Yeah, well, I think they will be. I think they will be because
to
you have to take in consideration that these are kids, you know, and
well, that's
I mean
too.
It might even be to the point where like the proton packs, the kick off the proton pack might be too much for a kid to handle. You know,
I don't know. I think Paul Rudd's going to be like to take the place of Egon when the other three come in.
Could be.
I think because he's obviously
unless he's the villain.
Maybe. I don't know. I just don't see him being a villain. He's too bubbly or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I don't think Paul Rudd would make a good villain. But, you know, I
think the ghosts have to be the villain.
Yeah, but there has to be a big bad.
Yeah, but in the first one, it was just Zool. I mean, you know, it wasn't an actual person.
Well, you had Gozer, you had Zool,
those were all
and you know
entities, not people.
Well, true.
And even in the
but that doesn't mean that he couldn't be possessed.
Well, it could end up happening because he did it with Ray.
Well, you know the scene where he's in his car and that paw, that big monster's paw. I swear.
Yes,
until I'm proven different. You know, I swear that's a terror dog.
It is. I have no doubt it is.
Yeah. So is he going to get Lewis Tullied? You know, I mean,
perhaps. I don't know. But hey, Biden, how you doing? Biden Touch in the chat. Good to see all you guys as usual.
What's up, Biden? You gearing up for the election?
Yes, he is. He's getting ready to touch. Reach out and touch someone.
He's going to touch all the candidates.
Yeah. Come here. I just want to say how much I love you, man.
Yeah.
Come in here for a hug. Oh, yeah.
Do me a favor, Biden. Go ahead and touch Donald Trump's head. Touch his hair. See what happens.
Rub it. See if it falls off now.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, there's just so much open here to do. I don't think the kids are going to be so much into it, and they might play with the stuff and find out about it. I don't know. There's so much that they can go in so many different directions here.
Well, you're gonna need the legacy characters to teach the kids how not to blow these things up. You know, they're unlicensed nuclear.
Kids are going to take over.
Well, yeah, I agree, but I mean, the thing is, they're kids.
Yeah, exactly.
They're kids, and you know, they're discovering the unlicensed nuclear accelerators. You know, and you know these things could blow up if you do something wrong and cause, you know, catastrophic damage. So you're gonna need Ray, especially Ray, in like a mentor role. You know, because since Egon's gone. Yeah, Peter and Winston know how to use the equipment, but Ray built the equipment along with Egon.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, again, I really want to see how they portray these characters 30 years later. I imagine Ray is still in his New York bookshop.
Ray's a cult, yeah.
Yeah. I don't see why he'd ever stop doing that because they never officially. I mean, they did open up the firehouse again, but I don't ever think he would have left that. I think the way that they're portraying this is that as soon as they were done with that, the baddie ghosts went away, like the major concentrations of them went away. And
sure, but I mean, it's 30 years later, so there's plenty of time for it to something to reemerge.
My son watched it, and we talked about it a little bit, and I brought up the thought of, well, what if, everything stopped. Ray stays in New York, Peter stays in New York, possibly with Dana. We got to figure maybe Dana. Oscar, I don't know. You know, a lot of people said, well, what if Paul Rudd's Oscar? Maybe. I don't know.
Paul Rudd's too old to be Oscar.
Well, again, yeah, but you got to understand, they make people whatever age they want them.
Well, yeah, I know, but I mean, he was a baby in 1989, so at most he would be like 30, 31.
So you can't.
Paul Rudd is close to 50.
I understand that, but that's not the first time a 50-year-old's played somebody younger, or somebody that's 30 has played a high school person. I just
don't think so, because if Paul Rudd was Oscar, he would have seen the Ghost Trap before. He wouldn't.
He says nice replica, like he's seen it. He knows what it is. So it's a possibility. And maybe being, again, okay, I don't believe he is, but if he were, he says nice replica, like they don't do this anymore. This is just a replica that somebody shoved in their living room someplace. But the only problem with that is he would have known Egon had been there.
Right.
So this is what I thought. I still think it's Ray's place, but I'm wondering, Ray stays in New York, Peter stays in New York. Ray says, you know what, Egon? Like they talk about it after 89 happens, Ghostbusters 2 happens. We've got to get this containment unit out of New York. And Ray says, you know what? I got to play, I got my parents' place, but we have to have somebody out there to watch it. Well, Egon's the most technical and most scientific of all of them. Always was. Egon says, well, how about this? I'll go. He doesn't have anything. He's always been that loner. Yeah, him and Janine kind of hook up in the second one. But
I wonder if Janine is the mother of the mother of the children. Maybe. because they were talking about how
that doesn't make sense, because they say grandpa. If she's the mother of the children, she was not that much younger than the others. So that wouldn't work age-wise either.
No, the mother of the children, in this new movie, what if she is the daughter of Egon and Janine and the kids?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Now, but okay, so Egon goes, and they put the containment unit at the bottom of this barrel or this mine. 30 years go by. How long has he been dead? Okay, and I'm not talking in real life. I'm talking about how long did they say his character's been dead.
Right.
So all this stuff gets noticed. The puzzle she unlocks in the wall or whatever, the girls unlock.
I think that's how she gets the PKE meter.
Exactly. So she finds these puzzles and these things because he's hidden them underneath, because he doesn't want people to find them. They don't have an issue. They don't want it there. And the Ecto-1 is there. All this stuff has been locked up. The containment unit, though, being down in the mine, is old, and it had to be kept up. It had to have maintenance done to it. He's been dead for however long. Maintenance hasn't been done, so it starts to rupture.
Oh, so you think the containment unit's down in the mine, and so everything that's been caught is starting to seep out.
Exactly. So my thought process is who's the baddie? All of it. Everything that they fought.
Okay.
And it brings it so you can do a giant one-time and just throw it all at everybody. And then at the end of it, you have the 3 original Ghostbusters, and they pull a Lethal Weapon 4, 3, and 2. They get done. They're tired. They're old. And they look at each other and says, man, we're too old for this shit. And then Paul Rudd comes in and says, I kind of like it. And they look at him and go like, well, okay. And then the kids come up and say, yeah, that was kind of cool. And you set it up that you have a continuation somehow. You don't explain who's going to take over necessarily. You just show that the kids are interested in it. Paul Rudd's interested in it, because Paul Rudd couldn't continue with the kids. You couldn't do like 20 years later, the kids be old enough, and then Paul Rudd still be a part of it, because then he's the Ghostbusters age. So
right. If they can manage to get another sequel out of this, I would be surprised. I would be happy, but I'm just glad that we're getting this movie this summer. If this is the last Ghostbusters movie ever made, then I'm good.
Do you think it's going to be the last one?
If we wouldn't have had 2016, I would have probably leaned towards no, but you have all of the feminazis and stuff.
I think because of 2016, I say it isn't.
I hope not,
because I don't see throwing money at Paul Rudd, because he's not a cheap actor anymore. He's been in big things now. I don't think you throw the money at Paul Rudd and you throw the money back at the original Ghostbusters. At least Bill Murray, because Bill Murray's not doing this cheaply. I almost guarantee you.
I'm sure.
Dan Aykroyd, no, he'll do it. He'd probably do it just to be in it because it's his baby.
Yeah.
I just don't see spending money on a Paul Rudd character to just kill it off. I see them doing this one and then pushing at least one more to see, just to see, if they can go and spin it off, because we know that even if Dan Aykroyd's able to work with the project still after this point, which I would always encourage that he stay with the project as long as he can, that Bill Murray will never be in another one. But Dan Aykroyd, I think, will hold on to be a writer or producer of it. Now, did Reitman's son, is he the producer and the director in this?
Reitman Sr. is the producer.
Oh, that's right.
And Jason Reitman is the director and co-writer.
$1917. Which one are you talking about there, Hanstar? Looking at seeing here, I know you're all talking more pop culture stuff, but have you seen the trailer for 1917? That's the one about the kid that has to go and save his brother with the message to keep them from attacking in the morning or something like that. Which I've seen the trailer for it. Yeah, we've been to a couple movies where they've played that trailer, right, Shaun?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
My only concern is that Jason Reitman's co-writer, his name is Gil Kenan, and his filmography goes from 2002 to 2020, and he's got 7. Ghostbusters 2020 is his 7th thing.
I don't think that matters. If his dad's the exact, okay, and I talked about this on a
he actually directed Monster House, which actually was pretty cool.
Yeah,
he directed the most recent Poltergeist. Well, yeah, I haven't seen it, but Monster House was cool. Scream, he did an episode of Scream, and Ghostbusters 2020 coming up. So we'll see. Jason Reitman, Ivan Reitman has like huge stakes in the Ghostbusters franchise. So I can't see.
I said this at one time. It used to be the director was in charge of everything. Like back in the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, the director was the big person on campus at a movie. It's changed now to where it's the executive producer, and that's Ivan. And
right,
the fact that he is that this was his baby. So I think we've got the perfect combination behind the helm, which we always said if 3 happens, it has to be a perfect combination. I think that's why you have Bill Murray coming back. It's not because it's he has exactly the formula he wanted.
Yeah, because the reason he showed up as a cameo in 2016 is because Sony was threatening legal stuff crap, for him if because he was the one that held up Ghostbusters all these years, and they said, look, if you don't show up, we're going to take legal action against you. So he did that. So he's already honored his contract with Sony, and so the fact that he's coming back for this as Peter Venkman makes me believe that the script is pretty good.
It's what he wants, because he doesn't. He's a standard. I don't have to do this. I don't want to do this. And if it isn't what I want to do, I'm not going to.
And the fact that they actually got a hold of him with his 800 number or whatever it is, to do this. I mean, he gets his messages, and I'm sure the first time somebody left a message saying, "Hey, we've got a script for Ghostbusters 3," he's like, "Okay,
yeah, whatever." I'm interested again. I don't know what he's going to play. or how not what, but I don't know how big of a part he's gonna have. You know, I guess I would say even if he was just a bit part, even though he's my favorite Ghostbuster, just because of his snark and his play it off the cuff and the game show guy type mentality. I see a lot of me in him, I guess. So whatever. I guess if he was a bit part, fine. If Zedmore was a bit part, fine. But Ray absolutely has to be a big part of this movie.
Ray has to be integral. I mean, he like they said in the first movie, Ray is he is the heart of the Ghostbusters.
He started it. He's the one that said, "Hey, let's go into business."
Yeah.
And then, that's when, of course, Egon sits there and says, well, that's going to cost a lot of money. And Peter's just like, hey, gimmick, sell it. Money, money, money.
Yeah, the franchise rights alone,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the funny thing. You see the different sides. Egon was always business by the numbers. If the numbers don't make sense, don't do it.
Egon was always with his calculator, and they're walking out of the bank. He's like, tap, tap, tap. He's like, Ray, for your information, the interest rate alone is blah, blah, blah. So.
Yeah. The first 10 years is good. And then what Venkman says as they're walking out, don't worry, Ray. Everybody has 2 mortgages, or three mortgages.
3 mortgages, yeah.
It's like,
oh, the 80s.
But no, it's just so hilarious. It's just, I don't know. I saw this trailer. I was like, yes, this is what I want to see. And
the Venkman voiceover, call it fate, call it luck, call it karma.
I loved that.
That was great.
I believe,
yeah,
that we were destined to go into business or whatever you said. And like I said today on your stream, is that I really hope that maybe the next one is like each one of them having their good monologue. Like I said at the beginning, when you see the house, maybe have Ray coming over, but my parents left me that house.
Exactly.
And then, then Egon saying, the first 10 years, the current, whatever. I can envision how they can do this with them.
You're never going to regret this, Ray.
Yeah. Or even, what? Here's a wild thought. Don't show legacy characters now. Show them from that scene, walking in, and then fade out, and then fade back to the house.
Yeah.
30.
That would be a nice shot. Yeah, I would dig that.
But I can see how it is. Don't show. I really don't think they need to show the legacy characters at all.
I don't think so.
Save it till the movie comes out. Save that bit of they're in this. We're telling you by using their voices. They're in this. They're in this. We want to make sure that it's a surprise.
After the trash that we got in 2016, I would rather them hold Venkman, Stans, and Zedmore, and even Janine and Dana, until
all of them are coming back, right?
They're all coming back.
But
I'd rather them hold them from the trailers. I'd rather see them, don't show me anything. I want to be shocked and amazed inside the theater.
Yes, use their voices. That's a perfect way to say they're in this.
Yep.
Only thing I want to know is Rick Moranis going to play anything? I know that
they've not said.
They've
not said.
I know. I know they'll never see this, but Rick, if you're out there, if you ever see this, man, 5 minutes.
Well, I mean, let's get a hold of the Chad. He lives in Canada, and I'm pretty sure, like, all Canadians live next door to each other. So,
you think? If Mad's Mama Bear was in here, we could ask her, or if Chad was in here, we could ask her, hey, can you check out Rick?
Because they all know each other, Hey, just go over to Rick Moranis' house.
Hey.
Bring over a couple of Rush records, maybe some Bryan Adams, Shania Twain. It's all good.
Some Canadian wine, or no, Canadian whiskey. There you go.
Trap says, yes, all Canadians know each other instinctively.
Of course. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I think we're both on the same page with Ghostbusters. Just stoked as all get up about this movie. It's
faux
just
shizzle.
faux shizzle my nizzle.
Yes.
That's right, homie G Snot Rag.
Yes. I'm extremely excited about it. I've been excited about it since they dropped the teaser trailer just of the Ecto 1 back in January or February.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, the scenes that they were showing is just awesome, just totally awesome looking. But let's kind of change the direction here. Let's talk about the other big one that came out. We did it yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. Wonder Woman 84. Again,
it looks fantastic.
Just freaking awesome. I was like, oh my gosh. And just the little nods to the 80s. It's like, you and I are big 80s buffs. We love the 80s. When the Wedding Singer came out, it was like, oh, this is so awesome. They got Billy Idol for that. We loved that movie. I mean, that's just so kick-ass. Hey DJ, how you doing? And anyways, the 80s vibe that they're showing with the graphics of the letters and all that stuff going on.
It's pure 80s, man.
The New Order remix of Blue Monday.
Yeah, as soon as I heard the ding 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 ding, I was like, oh yeah, okay, I see what they're doing.
And it sounds like they've tweaked it just a little bit, but not too much. It still sounds very 80s. I was like, wow. Now I have a few questions though. Mm-hmm. What the boyfriend? Steve, right? Steve. What's his last name?
Trevor. Steve Trevor.
Steve Trevor. Yeah, because I want to say it too. Steve Rogers.
I know. I always want to say Steve Rogers.
He's not Captain America.
See, my theory about this is in the trailer. I don't know if it was Maxwell Lord or whoever, but they were talking about there's whatever, can give you whatever it is that you desire, and I almost wonder if Steve Trevor isn't back because of whatever this device is or whatever it is that he's peddling, because
true,
when Steve Trevor comes back, he doesn't know what the trash can is, because it's a modern trash can.
Mm-hmm.
So it could have been, Diana's, deepest desire to have him come back. But he's there's no way he's the Steve Trevor from the first film because he died.
Well,
and even if he didn't die, he would not be the age that he is in 84.
No. And so that is the trick of this. Is this a trick? Is this a ploy to get her to let down her guard?
Could be.
Or is it literally just a reincarnation from that time period directly into this time period that's going to help her? Because that's kind of what they look like they were doing. I mean, again, if these guys are listening to the fans and stuff, and he was a popular character, which I'm sure he was because he was a very big part of the first one, I guess you kind of say, hey, but it does. What doesn't make sense is, and this is where I go with the DC, expanded universe. Is that in Batman versus Superman, when he sees the picture, he asks her, I think he says, like, is that your boyfriend or something like that? And she says it's somebody from long ago or something like that.
Right.
So she doesn't make any reference to this happening. So again, this is where you get so many mixed up timelines.
It was when something is very painful for somebody, and somebody says, is that such and such, a lot of times it's easier to say it's just, another life or, long ago instead of saying.
So perhaps is there a chance that she gives him up again because she realizes at the end the only way to.
Oh yeah, I don't think I think he's toast in this movie. I don't think he should have been in this movie to begin with, but I don't know how. I don't know this. circumstances around it, and I completely trust Patty Jenkins when it comes to.
Well, I do too. I don't have any doubt that this would be a good movie. I'm trying to figure out that part of it.
And unless you're a Jody's Corner fan, you're gonna hear it here first. Patty Jenkins, Henry Cavill, last son of Superman. It needs to happen.
Mm-hmm. I think she's gonna get it because
I think after because this movie, there's no way this movie is not going to make at least 1.2 to 1.5 billion dollars. There's no.
Remember, if it's not good, which I can't see it not being good. If it's not good, it'll tank. But I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, I just don't see it not being good. And so
the only plus side, not the only plus side. I'm sorry. Go ahead and finish your comment.
I was just going to say, there's no way that this movie is not going to be good. It's been done for the reason I say this is it's been done for over a year, and Warner Brothers has held on to it because they want to release it this summer. But there's been, like, in the year that it's been done, there have been no stories about reshoots, and every movie has reshoots, but since it's been in the can, Warner Brothers hasn't tinkered with it.
Well, I want to go back really quick here before we go further and thank everybody in the chat for being here. DJ Odyssey, I saw Thomas Gilkey, 19K Fox, Honstar, Tommy's our moderator today. Thank you very much, Tommy.
Tommy used to work on the docks.
Union's been on strike. He's down on his luck.
It's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. Okay. But what I will say about this is that I know that Henry Cavill has flat out said he wants to come back. And I love this idea. That gives us 3 of the main people that they've been in DC movies. And I think that's enough to continue this expanded universe storyline that they've been doing, but figure out a way to incorporate a new Batman.
Yeah, as long as they can retain Henry Cavill, and because you've got Jason Momoa, you've got Gal Gadot, and if you can retain Henry Cavill, along with Shazam, and build him up with throughout the Black Adam movie and stuff like that, I think they'll be fine. Introducing a new Batman, but man. Zachary Levi or Levy, he's got to bulk up. I love Shazam. I thought it was a very good movie, but you could tell that suit was like full of padding.
Yeah, but I think that was kind of the point, is because he was a kid that says Shazam and he becomes this thing. So I think that was kind of supposed to.
Yeah, but in the animated movies and in the comic books, when he says Shazam, he's like literally the equivalent of Superman.
I understand.
Like physicality, everything.
But okay, I mean, let's talk about that with the Batman though. Robert Pattinson. I mean, I just don't see him bulking up. I mean,
they're having problems bulking him up.
You and I have had this grand scheme that they should just go with the Batman Beyond, because Batman Beyond was the one being trained for Batman was not bulky.
No, if they would have actually gone Batman Beyond route on this and said that Robert Pattinson was going to be Terry McGinnis, and he was very, very slim and streamlined. He had that high-tech suit
in the face.
Yeah. I would have been like, great, that's cool. But Robert Pattinson, until I see otherwise, of course, a good trailer can change my mind.
Oh yeah,
but he just doesn't strike me as Batman.
And I know they're talking about, if they go back and kind of do a Batman Begins thing with this, like he just is starting, and that's how they get away with it. They just try to go and do a whole
pass.
But where else are they going to go with it? Again, this is DC's problem. They write themselves in these corners where bringing him up as just Batman isn't going to work, because the rest of the universe they've created has moved forward. Now, if you do Elseworlds, like you said, okay, fine. But they've got to find, again, you have to have a way for Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman to have a joint movie at some point.
Yeah.
And in this case, in this instance, this will not work with Robert Pattinson. He is too young for that group because you've already had Ben Affleck in there.
Well, I mean, he's about the same age as Cavill and Godot, but
you placed them in the universe with Affleck's Batman.
Right, Affleck was the senior of
there's the problem. You now, if you do something like I said, if you do something where he's past or he's the younger Batman, and it's a past of the Ben Affleck Batman, and that something happens that brings him up to their time. Okay, I'm just saying, eventually they can stay with these one-off movies like they're currently doing. They can do the Elseworld movies, but at some point, if you keep Godal, you keep Cavill, and you keep Momoa, you are going to have to find a way to bring Batman back with those three and do a group movie at some point.
Yeah.
Because it needs to be done. It just Justice League was not the right time to do it. Batman versus Superman, while I like the movie, was not the right time to bring the three of them together. You need, and you said it too. The next movie Superman should have been in was, if you wanted to kill him, do a Death of Superman standalone.
Yep,
that would have worked. And then if you want to do another Batman with Wonder Woman and do, the Rise of Superman or something like that, where they're searching for the real Superman, and you kind of played it like the comic books, but you just brought their characters into it, that might have worked. But to put them in the Death of Superman storyline was pointless, I think, and it really hurt that. And then they forced the Justice League movie out, and like everyone knows, we were supposed to get 2 Justice League movies, the first and the second one. And
the second movie was supposed to be out this past summer, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love it. Stop whining.
Stop whining. That's my Twitter notification because everybody whines.
But I just think that they've DJ, I totally agree. It's absolutely true that Affleck's character was really, really good. He played a great Bruce Wayne, and he played an excellent Batman. And it was gritty. It was good. But he should have been given his own standalone. They just should not have brought him in on this premise of the group movie. That's not how you introduce Batman.
Very, very true. You want to see something really cringe?
Sure.
All right, let me find the video because I captured this from my my YouTube TV DVR last night. Where is it? Because you know how I feel about Superman.
Yeah. Oh no.
Let's see. That's not it. That's not it. Talk amongst yourselves. Oh, here it is.
You find it?
Yeah. Woo! That's loud. Volume, please.
I think, in Alphamar, you just said, I think the rest of the DC films also. I don't know. Part of me says they rushed them. Part of me says that they should have just kept pushing through. If they didn't like what Zack Snyder's vision was, don't get rid of Affleck just because of that. Stop and tell Cavill, hey guys, we need you for this. We've already set up this universe. We need to stay on track, but we need to take a step back and figure out how to reintroduce this or how to restart this. But we're going to restart it with you guys. So we're going to do a new Superman movie, and we're going to give you your own movie, Affleck. Now, the only thing is Affleck, either, if you want to believe all the stuff they said, was always, I have to direct it. I'm going to write it. Da-da-da-da-da. Well, but the funny thing is there was this constant, he's out, he's in, he's out, he's in, he's out, he's in. And I mean, even up until like 3 or 4 months ago, I saw a story, and granted, I don't necessarily believe it, but I saw a story saying that Affleck may not be out. They may bring him back, which means if they bring him back, that the one with Pattinson could very well be an Elseworld.
It could, and that's fine.
Yeah.
You want to share my screen, please?
Sure.
All right. So I've said numerous times that when Superman is in Supergirl, they intentionally make him there's no other word around it. They make him a bitch. Okay, so Superman is arguably the stronger of the two characters. Okay,
not arguably, he is.
He is the stronger of the two characters. So in this scene, they're using their heat vision, to the extent of exhaustion, and Superman drops before Supergirl does. Like he runs out of energy before she does, and it just really pissed me off. So check this out. Wait. Oh, there he goes, and she's still going.
It's ridiculous.
I was too close for comfort. Or you gotta one-up me, huh?
And he says, "You always got to one-up me, huh?"
Why is this? What is this from?
That's from the first episode of Crisis last night.
Oh, it is? I have to check that out. I mean, I don't give enough credit to the CW. I don't, because every time I've watched it, it's just not what I want. I want more. I guess I want a little beefier looking everything. I can tell where they're using just crappy graphics from a computer and stuff. I mean, I understand it's TV. I need to let go of that, but I should probably go back and actually give it honestly a real good look at.
DJ Odyssey says they also killed off the Keaton Batman last night in that episode. I don't remember that. Oh wait, yeah, because there was Earth 89. Hold on, let me find that, Chris. That was.
I don't want to see it yet. I want to watch it.
No. This is just something. It's not going to ruin anything. Don't worry. It doesn't show the destruction of anything.
It just. I don't know why you have to do that. I guess it's just so you set your story straight, and everything else that we don't say is canon type thing.
Apparently. Where did I put it?
DJ, I don't do spoilers.
No, Chris is a little woman when it comes to.
I'm not a little woman. I am an integrity based YouTuber who doesn't decide to ruin everything.
Is that right?
I guess. I don't know. I just don't like a lot of the stuff that's I don't like spoilers. So yeah.
This is one of the
did they take the still of Gotham City from the movie?
They may have,
because they tore that down years ago.
I know. But
although
this is
cool pictures. I want to send you to a website where these guys stumble on it, but they actually walked to it because it was out in a pasture area. The whole Gotham City that they built for the two Keaton ones, it's still out there in this countryside in England. And these two went through and they took pictures of everything from different angles to show you how they use the same things in different shots, but they use the same area. And then they even found the vault from the Batcave. Didn't have the suit in it, but they found the vault. I got to show you that webpage. It's freaking amazing because this is from years ago, but it was really cool. I was like, oh my God, that's just to see it. It was abandoned, so it was really cool.
That's cool.
Go ahead.
This has Knox, the reporter, in it.
Yeah, you told me that. Go ahead.
Yeah, so they have the Danny Elfman theme and everything. So check this out.
I hope you're watching,
That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, go back to. I want to see go where it shows the newspaper real quick. Go in closer. I want to see. I mean, I don't know if you're going to see, but obviously he's still
Batman captures Joker.
Yeah, but he's still a reporter.
Yeah.
I think that's kick ass. I mean, I really want to watch this because I think they're going to put a lot into this.
Oh, they already have.
and I mean, I'm really, really excited to see it. Okay, so let's continue with Wonder Woman a little bit here, and then we'll wrap it up. But let's.
Thomas, you're right. That isn't the Batman symbol. That's the Batwoman symbol.
Yeah, which is why he says, "I hope you're out there, big guy."
Yeah,
because he probably doesn't. Maybe that's their way of saying we know that nobody likes us.
Although it's interesting because Batwoman is on Earth 1. That was Earth 89. So
yeah, I don't know. But with the Wonder Woman, what are your hopes for that?
Oh man, I have nothing but faith in Wonder Woman. I know it's going to cross the $1 billion mark. Just how far, we'll have to wait and see.
Is this going to be bigger than Endgame?
No.
So,
because the thing is, Warner Brothers and DC has integrity. They don't buy out their own seats.
Oh, well, but Endgame, when we went, it was packed.
Yeah, but they had to re-release it before it was even out of theaters, but for it to beat Avatar.
Avatar did it too.
No, Avatar waited a couple of years before they re-released it.
Counts.
No, Endgame wasn't out of theaters when they re-released it.
Doesn't matter if they both re-released. It just they pushed it again. I don't think that matters. They both.
Yeah, it was a cheap thing, and I have no doubt that by the time they supposedly re-released Endgame, that they were buying seats just like they did for Terminator Dark Fate and for Captain Marvel. So yeah, Disney can suck it.
Well, you say that anyways. But with Wonder Woman, you think 1.2 to 1.3, which is
1.2 to 1.5.
What did the first one make?
It was in the high 8s.
Okay.
So I mean, the fact that it got so close, just for and that was when DC was still in a very, very much of a lull. People are like, what the hell? That was after Man of Steel and BVS and Suicide Squad, and then Wonder Woman came out. Word of mouth saved Wonder Woman, and it made the high 8s, and not too far from $1 billion. So the fact that movie was so good and this trailer looks so good, I have no doubt that it's going to make 1.2 to 1.5.
Well, that's now.
Especially after the success of Aquaman hitting $1 billion.
I wasn't that big of a fan of Aquaman, though. I mean, I liked the movie; it's all right. It just it didn't do it for me. I mean, it was a lot better than anybody could have done with the '70s Aquaman.
Amber Heard did it for me, man.
Well, yeah. I mean, that was the point of watching.
I thought it was a fun movie. I mean,
it was.
Everything they showed under the water was just really, really well done.
I mean, I guess I had to go back and watch it again to really make sure, exactly my feelings about it. Because I've only seen it like 2 or 3 times. But Wonder Woman, I mean, absolutely loved it. It was a great way to introduce her character and show her and her abilities and all that. I loved that. And I loved the brother-sister complex thing going on there. In this one, though, I mean, I think this one's going to be – I think Wonder Woman right now is the anchor to keeping DC together.
And I want to take this time to just grandstand and say let's forget about the frickin' the Snyder cut. Zack Snyder released a photo of these cans, that had writing on them and stuff like that. That could have had anything in it. And what he probably has is raw footage of the film. He doesn't have completed footage of the film. Warner Brothers does not want to put in the millions of dollars to finish it, and why should we go back and want the Snyder Cut to come out? It's not going to retroactively fix the past. In fact, what we're going to get is a brainwashed Superman that's controlled by Darkseid, and more of that emo crap Superman. So I would rather focus on the future of the DCEU, and let's have another Superman film where Oh, what's his name? I forget
Henry
his name.
Cavill.
Henry Cavill. Yeah, where he's as bright as he was at the end of Justice League. You know,
I think what you do, and this is my opinion, I want to see this Snyder cut. At least maybe not the Snyder cut, but I want to see what he shot. Let's see what he shot. Let's see, because here's the problem.
If they release it on HBO Max, I'll watch it, but it's not going to change anything, and it's not going to be finished.
No, listen to me. If you have somebody, and I'm just saying this, if they go through, and you have somebody, let's say, crowdsource it. People want to see it, crowdsource it. Just say, listen, I'm a guy that works for Warner Brothers. Yes, we have this raw footage and stuff, but if you guys want it, crowdsource it. Let's get it together. But don't just make it the Snyder cut. Take what you got out there, snip it, put it together in the best of everything. Because
because he shot 5 hours. He shot 5 hours worth of footage.
End of Justice League, that is Superman. And I agree.
Yes.
I have no problem with the way Superman was portrayed in Man of Steel. I have no problem with how he was portrayed in Batman versus Superman.
That's where I start to have a problem.
I don't have a problem
because he was still too emo, and because Zack Snyder doesn't know shit about Superman. He doesn't know how to write Superman, and that's what Joss Whedon actually. The only thing I can say about Joss Whedon in Justice League is that he got Superman right.
Well, that's fine, but I think maybe we can get a mashup of the two, because it's so obvious in Justice League where you can see a Snyder part. And you can tell when the cuts work together, when they don't. It's really obvious that it's a cut up movie. I just want something. And again, I'm just saying crowdsource it. Do I want to see a Snyder cut? That's fine. If you want to crowdsource something, I'm fine with that. But I want to see something that's pretty much completed. And you're right. It's going to take a lot of money. I want to see it just to see what the idea was.
I want to move forward.
Well, I do too. It's not going to change anything. You're absolutely right. It's fan service, fine, whatever. But you know what? Sometimes Hollywood should do.
And most of these people that want it are Snyder fans. They're not DC fans.
Well, see, I'm a DC fan. I have no care about the directors of any movie. I'm not there to watch that. But the thing is I just want to see, is it better? Was it better? I want to see it. But I'm more apt to say, let's take everything we got and see if we can't make a better product just to do that. But you're right. There's no real reason to do it. We're past that. We're what, 3 years past it almost.
Yeah. And the Snyder cut is real, but it is in raw form.
Yeah.
It's unfinished CGI. It's unedited.
The canned footage, they have all of that done. They've shown these things where Gal Gadot, Henry Cavill, all of them say that they've seen this stuff.
Henry Cavill doesn't want to release the Snyder cut. He's the only one out of everyone in the movie that did not jump on the release the Snyder cut bandwagon a couple of weeks ago.
And I think it's for the same reason you just mentioned.
Yeah.
He doesn't like the way that, again, Man of Steel made sense how they made.
Henry Cavill he's probably more dedicated to the Superman character than really anybody has been in most franchises. It was a few years ago when he came to Arrowhead Stadium, and it was like freezing. It was like the coldest day of the year, and he was on the sidelines watching the Kansas City Chiefs. And just because Kansas City, is, close to Smallville, Kansas. It's as close as you're going to get to Smallville, Kansas, because there really is no Smallville, Kansas.
Yeah, here, real quick, let's do this. I'm going to pause this, go back. I'll have to have you tell me if you can hear this when I share it. Because
Tommy says if it exists unless Snyder paid for it, the studio would have it, and if the studio doesn't want to release it, it won't see the light of day. That's exactly. Snyder can say what he wants, but it's up to Warner Brothers.
Okay, so here it is. Here, how British actor Henry Cavill became a Kansas City Chiefs super fan.
You are,
can you hear that?
Yep.
A fan, as we've seen on your Instagram account, of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes, sir.
Now, you are most decidedly not from Kansas City, correct?
Not that I know of.
Okay. Now, you're from the island of Jersey?
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Just near the coast of Normandy, but
Absolutely.
You're obviously on the the UK side of things.
Yeah. It's considered a crown protectorate, so part of the British Isles.
Okay, so now how do you become a Kansas City Chiefs fan, Henry?
Well, spending a lot of time in America, learning to enjoy football, I realized I had to choose a team, and it's never wise to choose a team based upon who your partner is, because what if you fall out?
It's true.
And it's also good to have some rivalry in the house anyway.
Yes.
And I was trying to think of something which would always stick, and I figured Superman's from Kansas. I was playing Superman at the time, and it just kind of made sense to me.
There you go.
So if Clark Kent was born in, or Jor-El was in Pittsburgh, you'd have been a Steelers fan? Is that what we're saying?
Steelers was my next choice, for obvious reasons.
The man of steel, right?
But yes, I just figured, that's going to be somewhere where I feel a very close connection with that character.
Sure.
And therefore a close connection with where he's from.
That's where you chose the Kansas City Chiefs from.
Yep.
No kidding. And so we just showed photographs of you on the sideline of their playoff game a couple of years ago, but just 2 Januaries ago against the Steelers that night. What was your experience in Arrowhead?
It was loud. I like how loud it is there.
Right.
It is absolutely fantastic. What I found, the biggest thing for me was how much of a spectacle it was. I wasn't expecting to go down to the sidelines for one. I was expecting to sit up in the stands and watch the game from there, and that was a privilege enough. But going down there with the giant flamethrowers and stuff, and that's some exciting stuff.
Yeah,
it's like, if I imagine it would feel very similar to be a gladiator in Rome, comparatively speaking.
Well, the first time I went to Arrowhead and I heard them during the national anthem, when they say instead of home of the Braves, they substitute the word Braves with Chiefs, and it just came out of everybody's, like,
it's cool,
everybody's gut. It really just took me aside.
But that right there is, I think it proves a point.
Yeah.
When he says, I feel an attachment to this character. That's what you want to hear.
Yep.
Your actors say, or your actresses. When you hear Brie Larson say, "Oh, I love this character," and doesn't even know who the hell the character is, that's bad.
I believe she thought she was playing Captain America at first.
I have no clue, and that's the thing. She didn't either. It's kind of like what I say about the new Star Wars characters. It's like, if you don't have an attachment, there's no attachment to your character.
Nah,
you can't dig into it. Let's be honest. You and I are from Kansas City. It makes sense because Smallville, give or take, is
small. If Smallville existed, it would be within driving distance.
For us, it would definitely. But Imperial, Kansas, I think, is where they say Dorothy's from, which is very far southwest Kansas. But I always envision somewhere between Salina and Liberal. Liberal, Kansas. I always envision somewhere, southwest quadrant, way out there where all the farmers are and stuff. That's what I think. But that's not that far away from you and me. So when we hear this, when we see this, and he explains why, it's like this. So really into this character.
What they're doing is
she doesn't.
Every year, and this year John Wesley Shipp is going to be there, but every year Hutchinson, Kansas becomes Smallville.
Yeah.
And this year they're having they're having the Smallville Comic-Con, and John Wesley Shipp is going to be there.
We should go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We should definitely go. This is within driving distance. We could do it. It's June 20th, 2020, 10 to 7 p.m. and June 21st, 2020, 10 to 5 p.m.
Cool. I think we're going. But that's why what you want from a character. Gal Gadot, much the same way.
That's the Kansas State Fairground, isn't it?
It probably is a Hutchinson Fairgrounds.
Yeah.
They're the county seat. But Gal Gadot says the same thing about Wonder Woman. She dived into the character. She loves the character. Momoa is the same way.
Momoa loves that. Well, Momoa, Aquaman really launched Momoa. He was doing like the Stargate Atlantis stuff, and he started out on Baywatch Hawaii, and I really like it. I mean, he's not the Aquaman that everybody thinks of with the blonde hair and stuff, but he is a great Aquaman. But he actually made me like Aquaman.
Yeah, no, I love this movie.
Aside from the Aquaman in the Justice League cartoons that has the hook for the hand, you know, I think Jason Momoa is a fantastic Aquaman.
Yeah. Well, with all of that said, we've talked about Wonder Woman and we've talked about Ghostbusters, and you know, we're right up just past the hour.
Oh God.
But anyone imagine Brie as Wonder Woman? No. Not only
she doesn't have the figure for Wonder Woman. I mean, Gal is a slender woman, but Gal has much more of a figure than Brie.
Oh yeah. But with that said, I guess I'll give you a chance to say to everybody where you're from, what you're about, all that stuff. Go ahead and tell them about your channel.
If you haven't subscribed to me already, I'm Shaun Stackhouse Reacts on YouTube, and I just hit what was it, 1,570 subscribers today. So I need like 40 more. Wait, no, 30 more to hit what's the next number up? 1,600.
Number. It's a number.
Yeah, I need 30 more subs to hit 1,600. So if you're not subbed, please sub. I do a lot of pop culture stuff. I do retro reactions. Any retro reactions you see on Chris's channel, you know, I gave him permission to use my retro reaction idea. And I do a lot of live streams with a lot of people. I've done live streams with John Talks, Chris and I, and Terrence did a live stream with Jody Joe of Jody's Corner. That was a lot of fun. And so yeah, come on over. And you know, I'm on Twitter at Shaun Stackhouse, and I'm also on Instagram at Shaun Stackhouse Reacts.
Yeah. Okay. So here's how everybody gets picked on the Gospel According to Chris. It is the Wheel of Names. And any guesses who you think it'll be this time?
I see you've taken off some of the more allegedly important people.
No, I have everybody on there. That I think. Wait, hold on. Is this? Yeah, no. Should have everybody on here. Maybe I don't. I have to look and see. Yeah, I'm missing a few now. I don't know why, but yeah, we'll get them on there. Actually, well,
it'd be cool if you could get if it landed on Odin.
Oh, I have to contact him and make sure I can put him on there. That's the thing. I gotta get them to say that they're okay with it before I'll put them on here. But let's spin the wheel of names and let's see where this goes. It's got time on it. And it looks like it's Fox. He is in the he was in the chat. Let's see if he still is. And
Fox is out of the country though.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know when he's coming back.
Well, we'll have to see, and we'll talk with him and we'll see what they say. 19K Fox, though, has been picked by the Wheel of Names. We will see if he can do it next week. If not, we'll figure it out from there. But with that said, I am Chris Knight. This has been the Real Review 3000, and everybody, Shaun, say goodbye.
Goodbye, people.
Bye.